So this video is being created thanks to a comment that was left from a fellow YouTuber. Special shout out to Enricos7327, and I really hope that's how you pronounce your username. If not, sorry about that. Who left a comment asking for me to do an A/B comparison between the two Black Galaxy Acrolites that I have. The one that was completely unmodified, and then the other one which was my first snare drum, when in high school I thought it was a great idea to drill 4 2.5-inch vents into. What's going on, everybody? Nick Costa here, and in this video I am going to be comparing two Black Galaxy Ludwig Acrolites. One is completely unmodified except for new heads and snare wires, and the other one is my very first snare drum, where I decided it was a good idea to drill 4 2.5-inch vents into it. Now before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. That way you're notified of any additional content that I upload to the channel. So if you have been following the channel for a second, and thank you if you have been, then you notice that this whole Snare Saturday series kicked off with my very first snare drum. That drum was a Black Galaxy Ludwig Acrolite. It's a 5x14 aluminum shell with 8 bow tie lugs and triple flange hoops on the top and bottom. Well, when I was growing up, especially in high school, I was a huge fan of Orange County Drums and Percussion, and every drummer that was on their roster, which were the drummers I was listening to, at least in photos, all had the same snare drum, which had giant vents in it. Being a young kid, I thought to myself, the only way I could get that sound is if I did the same exact thing to my drum. Not thinking that, shell configuration, thickness of shell, any of that stuff made a difference. Just, did it have holes or did it not have holes? So I took that drum and I went to the shop at my high school and drilled 4 2.5-inch vents into the drum. Now fast forward to when I was in college, I realized maybe that wasn't the greatest idea. And we're talking about 2007, 2008 at this point. And you could find Acrolites pretty cheap. They weren't getting too expensive at that time. So I was able to find one on Craigslist for $80, which is this one right here. It's also the Black Galaxy Acrolite that was featured in one of the more recent Snare Saturday videos. But like I mentioned in the intro of this video, Enrico7327 left a comment on the video on this Black Galaxy Acrolite, the one without the holes in it, asking if I can do a comparison between the two back to back so people could hear the difference. And since the last Snare Saturday series, I compared a late 60s, late 70s, and a late 90s or early 2000s Acrolite to one another, why not keep this trend going? This time comparing two Acrolites that are identical to one another, just one has giant holes in it. Now to level the playing field as much as possible, I am going to put the same heads and snare wires on each drum, which is going to be a Remo Ambassador X coated on the top and a Remo Ambassador snare side on the bottom. And for snare wires, I am going to be putting a set of Canopus vintage wires on it. This is the 20-strand version because Canopus made the vintage snappy wires for Vic Firth, and I figured these snare wires would be the same or not too far off. So just like every other snare comparison video here on the channel, I am going to tune each drum the same way and then play them one right after the other. The only difference is the one that has the vents in it does not have an internal damper because I drilled through the area where it could be placed. So each drum is going to be played wide open without any internal damper engaged. I will start out in a lower tuning and work my way up to a higher tuning. So enough of me talking, let's dive into playing. And there you have it. 2 Black Galaxy Acrolites, one of which was heavily modified and the other one wasn't. Now, I'd like to get your feedback and what you thought of each drum, so make sure that you leave that in the comment section below, letting me know. And if you are interested in seeing those earlier videos from the Snare Saturday series where I isolated each drum, and so you can hear how they were configured with different snare wires and head combinations, I put links to those videos in the description below so you can check them out. Also, if you are interested in checking out some of the other videos from the Snare Saturday series, I put a link to the playlist in the description below, and I'll also have it pop up right here to make it a bit easier for you. Also, if you have any questions on either one of these drums, feel free to leave that in the comment section below as well, and I'll try my best to answer them. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. That way it makes it a little bit easier for others to find it. And that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video on comparing 2 Ludwig Black Galaxy Acrolites. And until next time, see you later.